This is gentle audio. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Feel the familiar warmth of doubt creeping back as you remember the time a homeless man shouted across the street, "Hey, you, dickhead." Breathe out. Let it settle. Maybe he was right. Maybe you've been walking around with that air, that unwarranted confidence, like you're somehow better than a guy who's just trying to survive the day. Breathe in. Imagine your body shrinking, deflating like a balloon that's lost its purpose. Breathe out. Let it all go. Every pretense, every tiny bit of pride that made you think you could afford to feel superior. Feel your shoulders drop, your spine soften. Maybe the homeless man was right after all. Now picture your face in your mind, the look you gave him back, that fleeting mix of embarrassment and judgment. Breathe in. Notice how your facial muscles tighten at the memory. Breathe out. Relax them. Let it all smooth over, like butter melting in the sun. He saw you, raw and unfiltered, and maybe he wasn't wrong. Let's move to your hands. Clench them if you must, but slowly release each finger, one by one, as if letting go of every snarky comeback you wished you said. Breathe in. Feel the warmth between your palms. Breathe out. Let it dissipate like fog under the sun. You didn't have to say a word, and maybe that's what he was counting on. Now focus on your feet. Imagine roots growing from the soles, anchoring you to the ground. Breathe in. Feel the connection, steady and unyielding. Breathe out. Let it sink deeper, grounding you in this moment where you're just a person, not a target. The homeless man was probably right about one thing: none of us are above a little humility. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, let the tension rise from your body like steam from a kettle. You're not defined by his shout or your reaction. Breathe in, the calm of knowing that sometimes the people who call us out are just mirrors showing what we already know. Breathe out, release it all, and find peace in the space where you don't have to be right, just human. Close your eyes and imagine the weight of your ego releasing like a hot air balloon. Breathe in the smell of burned opportunities. Breathe out the ashes of your pride. Your shoulders, so tense they could crack a walnut, soften as you remember. Sometimes, the people who call us out are just mirrors showing what we already know. Breathe out, release it all, and find peace in the space where you don't have to be right, just human. Let your arms fall like wet noodles, limp with relief. Feel the warmth of humility spread through your veins. Your hands, once clenched like fists of fury, now open like flowers surrendering to the dirt. Breathe in the scent of maybe I should have listened. Breathe out the sound of your ego slamming the door. Your legs, so stiff they could stand on their own, relax into submission. Feel the earth beneath you, steady and unjudging. Your thighs, once tight as a knot tied in anger, loosen like old socks in a warm wash. Breathe in the calm of accepting you're not perfect. Breathe out the storm of trying to prove you are. Your hips, so rigid they could turn concrete into confetti, melt like ice cream on pavement. Feel the flow of release, the river of your insecurities finally slowing. Your pelvis, once tilted with defensiveness, centers like a compass pointing north. Breathe in the quiet of letting go. Breathe out the noise of needing to be right. Your back, so bowed under the weight of I have to, relaxes into the curve of maybe I don't. Feel the tension dissolve like sugar in tea, leaving only warmth and liquidity. Your spine, once straightened by years of trying to stand out, softens like a willow. Breathe in the whisper of surrender. Breathe out the shout of control. Now your face. Relax those eyebrows, lower them like a storm cloud parting. Let your mouth unhinge, not from anger, but from the need to defend. Feel the warmth of embarrassment softening your features like butter on toast. Your eyes, so sharp with offense, soften like milk in an Oreo. Breathe in the scent of maybe I was wrong. Breathe out the stench of needing to be right. Finally, your mind. Let thoughts float like leaves on water, some drift, some sink. No need to grasp them, they'll find their way. Your brain, once cluttered with I have to, settles into maybe I can. Breathe in clarity without the noise. Breathe out peace without the fight. And as you rest here, in this quiet space between your breaths, remember, sometimes the people who call us out are just mirrors showing what we already know. Breathe in, release it all. Breathe out, find peace. Imagine yourself standing on a serene beach, the waves gently crashing against the shore. Feel the sand beneath your feet and the salty breeze in your hair. Here, find your peace, knowing that even in the midst of life's chaos, calm can be found. Now, picture a seagull flying overhead, calling out your name in its own quirky way. Laugh at the absurdity after all. A bird screeching dickhead sounds more like a playful squawk than an insult. Let this image dissolve any sting, turning it into a humorous memory. In this tranquil space, acknowledge that maybe there's a kernel of truth in what was said. Like a pebble causing ripples, even if the name felt heavy, it might have been a wake-up call, gently urging you to consider your path with a touch of humor. Visualize transforming the weight of that name into something light, perhaps a soap bubble floating away, reflecting rainbows. Watch it drift off, turning negativity into a colorful, fleeting memory, leaving only peace behind. Breathe in the fresh ocean air. Breathe out any lingering tension. With each breath, release the need to hold onto those words, allowing them to fade like distant waves, replaced by the sound of your own calm rhythm. Here, in this peaceful haven, know that growth often comes from unexpected places. Even a harsh name can be a stepping stone to self-reflection. Embrace the lesson with humor and grace, finding inner strength in the quiet moments by the shore. And as you slowly return to your day, remember that sometimes the best way to move forward is by laughing at yourself hard. After all, who wouldn't want to be remembered as the person who once stumbled over a sidewalk crack while trying to juggle their dignity and a homeless man's honesty? Take another deep breath, letting it out slow, and picture your reflection in a calm pond. Except instead of seeing a serious face, you're grinning like you just ate a jar of honey. Because yeah, maybe he was right, but at least you're owning it like a boss. And take one final deep breath, as you realize that the only thing worse than being called a dickhead is thinking about how you'd handle it if your parents found